A question coming for you from Alex, who says, why don't England ever play a 4-4-2 with Lampard and Gerrard, Lampard advanced, Gerrard defensive, Lennon and Walcott on the wings and Crouch and Rooney up front? That would kill everyone.
Well, we'd like to think it would kill everybody, but as we've seen in the last World Cup, when you're playing against the size of the technical ability of the Spanish, when you play the two in there, it becomes very difficult when you don't have the ball, because you never see the ball. That's the problem. And we've had a few problems, and as simple as it is, if Glenn and I was playing and Glenn was further forward, then I would cover Glenn and vice versa. Not that I got too much in advance of Glenn, I'd have to say. But that's the way it functions, and that's the way that wide players, they tuck in when the ball's on the other side of the pitch. And it is pretty logical stuff. And I do agree to a large degree, 4-4-2, we saw Manchester United play Chelsea at Stamford Bridge the other night. And it was just it was a bit of a throwback, really. It was up and at them, you attack, we attack. But I think if you play international football in that manner, especially against the better teams, then you'll get punished big time.
I think that's the problem with. I personally, I've always said it, and I was in the position of having to pick a team for England and go to the World Cup. Yeah. I played 5 in midfield. I played 3 at the back when we were in possession, and I think, you know, Ray myself played many games, and I remember a game against Spain at Wembley I played in. They had Buchagania up front, they had 5 in midfield, and we didn't see the ball. We lost 2-1, and we were chasing shadows, playing 4-4-2. And many games like that happened, and we didn't have enough bodies in there, one, to keep it and to win it back. And I think it's a problem to us at the moment. I think Lampard, personally, and Gerrard are made for 3 in midfield. However you want to play that, if you want to play it 3 at the back and 2 up front, or you want to go 4-3-3 or 5 across, those 2 with a sitting player behind are absolutely tailor-made to then get in the box and do what they're good at. And I think this is a problem. I don't see us winning anything if we stick to a rigid 4-4-2. Barcelona play with a back 4, but they don't play 4-4-2. No. Arsenal play with a back 4, but you can't see their shape. It's not a 4-4-2 when they've got the ball. Too many times in the World Cup, in my opinion, you could see the shape when we were in possession, and it was too easy to shut down, and that was our problem.
I mean, you mentioned that particular game when Spain played 5 in midfield. As a manager or a coach, Ray, when you see that happening from the sidelines, how easy is it to be flexible with the players, or is it difficult because you practiced everything down to such a tight degree? Well,
you do, but you've got to have flexibility also when you're training and coaching as well. And normally against teams that you know that are going to monopolise the ball, then you have to set your stall out totally different. And that's Chelsea as well as England. You know, when we played against Arsenal, we would function, especially playing away from home, we would function slightly different than we would if we went to or played at Stamford Bridge. Yeah. So you do have to mix and match, but it's also having the personnel to do it. You know, you've got to be very fortunate when you go into a job that the personnel are there to be able to perform to the level and be able to be quite flexible. And you as a coach and Glenn as a manager would have to look upon it as well. And you do have to have the foresight to say, well, hang on a second, this isn't quite working. Now we need to change something and get cracking in a different mode. So you do have to be flexible, yeah.
In international football, it's difficult to do that. I think we should be further down the line in playing some different systems and knowing what to do, and the players to just adjust into a system. That's harder to get that when you're not with them daily, like a club manager. That's the real crux of international management, the negative side. But I think after you've been with them a couple of years, the players should know. That's what your training camp's about. That's the extra time that you're given now when you play, when you're together for 2 games. By now, if we're going to play with a 5 in midfield, or we're going to play with a 3 up front, or if we do go into a 3 at the back, I don't see that flexibility with England at the moment. I think we're very rigid in the way that we're playing.